Good morning, everybody. What's going on? What's going on? This is Leonard Miles, aka 2 Degrees in the CDL. Just coming live with the news like I always do. Now, this is an older article, but we're in 2024. Coming up on the third month. It's March. I just want to know if this topic still reigns supreme. I'll ask some, some owner operators. Are you all still feeling this? And even some company drivers. Have you noticed a change in how your routes are ran? So, some people still say, we're in a freight recession. So, had to go to freight waves, shout out to freight waves. So let's talk about this article. So it's gonna be a lengthy article, but let's go ahead and read it and see what's going on. So this is from 4 months ago. So it says 2 charts explain why we're in a freight recession. Outbound tender rejection index is at a historically low number. So let's see what's going on. The freight market is suffering from very challenging conditions, and few dispute that the freight market is in recession. The root cause of the current freight recession has been the imbalance of supply and demand. Let's break down demand first. According to Sonar's Outbound Tender Volume Index, or OTVI, freight volumes are currently up 16% over 2019 levels. Volumes are at some of the highest levels of the year to date. So, like I said, here's the chart and everything. Like I said, for you all to look at your leisure. I'll make sure I attach the link to it. Although the peak season began slowly, over the past week, things appear to be turning. To date, peak season certainly has not been robust, but it also has not been abysmal. The macro outlook, capacity, and OTRI. Next up, excuse me. Next up, we need to look at capacity. While there are good data sets that track total aggregate capacity, the data painfully lags the market because it is government generated. So there's no precise measurement of the total of trucks currently available for dispatch. To address this issue, FreightWaves developed the Outbound Tender Rejection Index, or OTRI. The index measures the number of truckload orders rejected during the previous week. And whatever the state of the economy, there has always been and will always be a level of rejection in the market. But with the data OTRI provides, there's an indicator for how full the truckload order book is at any moment in time. Since FreightWaves first published the OTRI in 2018, it has ranged from 2.5% to 30%. So, like I say, we can see that it's going up and down, and of course, it flatlined a little bit towards the end of June of 2023. Currently, Sonar's OTRI is at 3.5%, low by historical standards. Yep, that's that 3.5. Yeah, that's low. Like airlines, trucking companies strive to overbook their capacity. So, trucking companies reject a percentage of loads every day, just like airlines bump passengers from their airplanes when the flight is too full. These rejections happen electronically via computer messages called EDI or API message protocols. These messages are sent from trucking companies in response to orders for capacity from shippers of all kinds: retailers, manufacturers, industrial firms. In Sonar, all the data that would identify a specific company is stripped, so no one ever knows which specific company ordered a truck or which carrier rejected a specific load. This is done to protect the confidentiality of Sonar participants. When gauging the health of the U.S. freight market as a whole, Sonar data is focused on the market's breadth, not what takes place at individual companies. The freight economy at road level. Since its inception, FreightWaves has reported the good and bad news about the freight economy. We also report what is happening at the companies that make up the freight economy. because these companies and their employees are the key to moving the nation's goods. And despite the industry's importance to the overall economy, at the company level, bankruptcies, closures, and downsizings have occurred at large and small companies for more than a year and a half. Overcapacity is the primary problem. But while there are certainly a number of problems, the freight recession is due primarily to too much capacity, or for the layperson, too many trucks for the amount of freight being moved. Freight volumes are more robust than would be expected and had there been a sharp economic recession, but there are real problems stemming from too much capacity in the market. And while the goods economy is not nearly as robust as it has been in the previous years, the softness in the freight is a capacity issue, not a demand issue. So, from the biggest thing, is oversaturating the trucking market. I think this is something that, other channels have talked about, and I've talked about it before. We had an influx of drivers, coming to the industry, post pandemic or even pre pandemic when the pandemic was going on because it was a shortage of drivers. So it was a lot of companies creating LLCs and a lot of companies, coming in and, wreaking havoc in the trucking industry at that time. Some companies are still here, running good practices. Some companies, were also doing some fraudulent stuff, and, got caught up in it, and, kind of made it look bad on the industry at that time. Not to say we don't still battle fraudulent stuff right now, but there's more. It appears to be more trucking companies, more LLCs opening than there is freight available. And not to say that the freight isn't available, but the freight is going to be at a lower rate. So I think, it'll continue to weed itself out. I think a lot of companies, who opened, during those times or even continue to open now, like I say, a lot of people will tell you that right now is not the best time to even be trying to go the owner-operator route because, like I say, the market is not really good right now. That's what that's what I hear from a lot of owner-operators at this moment. Now, some owner-operators, they have dedicated routes, so, they're not really impacted by it too much. But the vast majority of owner-operators that I speak to, they just say, like, hey, man, now is not the time in this market. If you work for a company, continue to work for that company, and, whatever the market, makes a better turn, you do what you feel is best. But yeah, I definitely knew that, this would be one of the main reasons, like I said, you have a lot of truckers that just continue to enter in the industry. So, like I said, that's going to always be, an issue that we run into. But I just want you all to let me know what you all think. Hey, make sure you just like, share, subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate the support as always. I'm on the road to 1K. So I got 750 more subscribers that I need. I'm just going to continue to just put out this good information that I can always do. And until next time, I'm out.